Well, I didn't really worry about that decision until we finished the season. And when I found out that that second Maryland game got canceled, I knew I kind of had to, figure stuff out. And, I had talked to my family and, my teammates, and, I just made a choice that I thought was best for me. And I talked to guys like Matt Allen and Luke Campbell, who are in the same position I'm in. And, I kind of got their perspective on the situation also. And I asked them, why would you guys want to come back? And they're like, why wouldn't we want to come back? This is a truly special place. And, the culture and the people that are here and the environment that Coach Tucker is creating, that was just something that I wanted to be a part of. And I feel like I would regret if I missed out on it. So yeah, and on top of that, I'm furthering my education and I'm adding another year of film to my resume. So I mean, there's more pros to coming back than anything else.
How much did the way you played in those 7 games last year, if it was maybe 2, 3 years ago versus now, I mean, when you're on the ascent, how much did that play into your decision too?
I don't think it did at all. I feel like this was a decision where I could further my future past football. And, obviously I finished with my economics degree, which I'm thankful for. And, there's just another opportunity to, add something else to my name. And now I'm pursuing a grad program for sports coaching and leadership, which is something I potentially would like to do in the future. So yeah, it's just another opportunity to better myself as a football player and as a person.
Our next question will go to Matt Charbonneau, the Detroit News.
Drew, obviously you've been through your share of spring practices, but considering how last year played out and now getting back to it, close to normal at this point, what does it feel like kind of getting back and having a real spring practice after a real off-season conditioning? Does it feel like it's getting closer to what you're used to, at least?
Yeah, it's definitely we're definitely making up for lost time, around this time last year. And we've gone through a season where we've dealt with COVID and all the protocols and things like that. So, and we're just kind of uh, nearing towards the end of this pandemic, which I'm thankful for. But it's just good to finally get it, my last year, to not miss out on spring ball. It was something I look forward to every March or April. And, it's a fun time, being with the guys and, working out with them and, trying to get better and get ready for the fall.
And you talked about the decision you made to come back. Other guys had that decision as well. There's been people out in the transfer portal, people in, you got early enrollees. Does it feel like there's maybe more new faces than usual at this time of year? And how much do you work on trying to integrate everybody and getting everyone kind of buying in a quick manner, I guess?
Yeah, it's definitely different with the new faces. Like we hit the transfer portal pretty hard, and we had a handful of early enrollees come in, and it's definitely a high level of competition, which is a good thing. And everybody's got a role, and this is spring ball is something that we can figure out. Who's gonna do what role, and we got to figure out how to do it and why we're doing it, and we got to do it to the best of our ability.
Next question is from Stephen Brooks with 24/7 Sports.
Hey, Drew. Hope you're doing well. Wanted to ask you about Drew Jordan and what you've seen from him. I know it's very early, obviously, but I'm just curious. What do you think of him as a player? Does he compare to anybody you've played with, or I guess played against, maybe? Just curious about his skill set and what you've noticed from him so far.
DJ is a very versatile guy. He's super strong. He's super athletic. He's super fast, and he can play any position on the defensive line. He brings he brings a very unusual skill set that not a lot of guys have, and he's not he's not. I would say he's one of the rather bigger DNs that I've played with, and for 270-pound guy, he makes it look really, really fast and quick. So, and plus, he's got a great work ethic. He's always wanting to get better, and me and him, we're always watching film together. Trying to get him involved in the system, and just trying to get him to get used to the new terminology that he's not used to yet. So,
as a follow to that, when you talk about him and the other transfer guys, and you mentioned culture at the top, you wanted to come back and be a part of this culture, and Coach Tucker just talked a lot about building the culture this spring. What's that process like of trying to build a culture but bringing these new guys in at the same time and mixing them in with that while you guys are building on last year and still sort of moving that forward? Just what's that challenge like, or that dynamic, I guess is a better word, of bringing these new guys in, trying to build that culture simultaneously?
Well, it's like I said before, everybody has the same goal of trying to get to the Big Ten championship, and everybody's got to do their part. And, regardless if you're a transfer or a freshman, or you're a 6th-year senior, or you're a coach, you're trying to get to the ultimate goal, which is the Big Ten championship. And, everybody's got to do their part, and we got to play good complementary football, which I'm sure Coach Tucker likes to talk about. And we just got to put all the pieces of the puzzle together, and that's what this spring ball is going to do for us, because I feel like we definitely missed out, with spring ball not happening last season.
Sure. Thanks, man.
Sir.
Next question will go to Matt Wenzel with M Live.
Hey, Drew, we saw the roster today, and Brandon Wright's now listed as a defensive end, and Mel talked about him a little bit earlier. I mean, this is a guy that you were trying to tackle the last 2 years in practice, I assume, and what have you seen from him now that he's over with you guys?
He's, he played a lot of running backs, so he's a very quick guy. We just got to get him used to the system a little bit more. I got to work on his technique a little bit. But, he shows promise in his pass rush, and, he can help us out potentially on the third down passes for sure.
Thanks, Drew.
Next question will go to Rainer Saban of the Detroit Free Press.
Hey, Drew, could you talk about what the feeling is, I guess, right now versus this time last year? You guys were just kind of getting familiar with Mel, and then obviously the pandemic hit. And, now you've had a year with him, and looking forward, I mean, how different is the vibe now versus then?
Well, I can definitely say, with missing spring ball last season, our guys were definitely eager to get started. And when we went out for practice this morning, everybody was hype. Everyone was having fun, doing their job, running to the ball, trying to make each other better, staying safe, of course. But yeah, it's just like, it's just a fun party that, us guys like to have, and, we're just having fun with each other. And, I feel like that's the most important thing for our guys, is especially with the new guys coming in, it's all business, but at the same time, we're just having a good time.
Going back to last year, you guys had your moments. I mean, obviously beating Michigan and Northwestern, but I mean, there was a level of inconsistency. How important is it in year two to kind of establish more consistency where you can, I guess, harness the momentum from those really good performances and carry it over to the next week?
Yeah, I feel like, consistency is a very important thing. And, there were a lot of games that I felt we could have won last year, but, we just got to constantly and keep that consistency going, playing that good complementary football. The defense, we got to help the offense, get more opportunities to score, and, special teams, that plays a part too, getting good field position, things like that. So, when we put all the pieces of the puzzle and everyone does their job, like the way we did against Michigan and Northwestern, good things will happen. And I feel like this upcoming season, we'll have more opportunities to win big games like that.
Thanks.
We have time for a couple more before Connor joins us. We'll go to Audrey Dahlgren with WLNS.
Drew, going off of that fun party vibe, I guess, what was the best part about just stepping out onto the field today with your teammates?
Well, it's just, with, the pandemic and, being away for a little bit this December and January, it's just finally, being back out there with your brothers and having a good time because, I feel like, I'm nothing without my brothers and, just, there's not much I'd rather do than hang out with them because, they make me happy and, it's just a fun time.
And then where would you rate your guys' confidence right now in terms of where you were last year compared to now in terms of the scheme and just how comfortable you are with the staff and just if you could describe the differences between last year at this time to right now?
Well, I feel like, with the season that we had and, I feel like we're more comfortable now with both the system and the coaches. I feel like everybody's a little more loose and confident in, who they are and what their game's like. And, right now we're just trying to figure out ways to self-improve as a team. So.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Our last question for Drew is from Jim Comparoni with Spartan Magazine.
Yeah, Drew, speaking about improvement, where would you like to improve? In which ways would you like to improve as a player? What are you trying to get better at?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of things that I like to improve in. Obviously, I like to improve in my pass rush. You can never get too good at that. And as a player, I feel like, leadership is another thing that I'd like to improve on. Me and Coach Tuck had a couple talks and, I got to be the guy because I am one of the older players on the team. And I feel like it's my job to, help set the standard for all the young guys and the newcomers and show them what Spartan football is all about. So I would say those two things are the main priority is my pass rush, which I'm working on right now, and my leadership.
And winter conditioning, you've been through a few of those at Michigan State. How would you characterize winter conditioning this past winter? What was it like?
It was mentally challenging as long as physically challenging. Coach Novak and his staff, they put our feet to the fire and, they challenged us. And, when you're in big games and, clutch moments like that, you got to find a way to push through. And, I feel like Coach Novak's program really emphasizes, pushing through mentally and physically. So, and I feel like all of our guys did a very good job with that.
All right. Thank you.
Drew, thanks for taking some time today. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you
Thank you.
practices. Thank you.